Hi, Dr. Josh Bieber here with Mountain View Chiropractic. We are on the eve of the 7-Day Food Challenge, and it's getting a lot of momentum that we've gained. We have over 75 people and families that have decided to join with us and basically take a whole week out of your life and try to go 1 week without eating processed foods, no fast foods, no going out to eat. And it seems like a pretty basic thing and a pretty easy thing to do, yet a majority of us, if you look at an average week, we don't even come close to going a day without having processed food. And again, the stat I shared you last time is that 90% of the food that we consume, the dollars that we spend towards our food, is in the form of processed foods. Very high in fat, very high in sugars, a lot of food additives in there, so really bad for us. So the thing I want to talk about today on the eve of the 7-Day Food Challenge is that most diets fail. They say that over 90% of people who start a diet fail within the first 4 to 6 weeks. So why is that? And what I tell you is that most people fundamentally never change their belief structures. So what people do is they say, I'm going to lose so much weight over the course of a given amount of time. And they think of it just as vanity, of how my looks are. So I want to get into that dress before I go to the prom, or I want to get into a new suit before I get married. So any of us can do a short-term diet, but what happens to so many people is they'll lose 5, 10, 15, or 20 pounds, but what happens is they yo-yo, and within 6 months, all that weight comes back. And the reason why that is because fundamentally our beliefs haven't changed around food and around lifestyle. So what we look at have to doing is getting a new anchor and a bigger anchor, something that's bigger than our addictions to processed foods and sugars. So for myself, I want to share one of my biggest anchors, one of my biggest beliefs that I have is my anchor that allows me to push away processed foods is what I want to do in the future is spend time with my kids, my family, quality time. So on my highest order value is 2 things. Number 1 is family. Number 2 is my ability to provide for my family. And I know that I cannot do that if I'm not healthy. So if I want to have the ability to ski with my kids when I'm 50 years old, I need to be able to pay the price now and fill up my wellness account. So the book that I wrote called The Power of Wellness, the original name for it was How Full is Your Wellness Account? So the concept is this, is that none of us would think of waiting until retirement age, going to our investment person and saying, hey, do I have any money in here to retirement? When none of us has put any money away when we're 20, 30, or 40 years old. Yet most of us, when we're 20 or 30 years old, don't ever think of eating healthy and staying away from processed foods and exercising and meditation. Those are all things that we can do to add into our wellness account. So each one of us every single day has a decision. We can make a choice when it comes to our food, and the choice does 1 of 2 things. Either it moves us closer towards wellness and health and homeostasis, or it's going to move us towards disease, sickness, chronic disease, and illness. And we look at that, it's really simple. Anything that comes in a box that's processed, that has high sugar content, high fat, is going to move us on the way towards sickness and disease. Anything that comes in the food of good God-given foods such as fruits and vegetables and clean meats and water and nuts and berries, those are going to move us on our journey towards wellness. They're going to truly fill up our wellness account, and it's going to anchor us to move this towards a lifestyle change and not a diet. But the only way it will do that is if you sit down tonight and look at what is your highest order value. What do you value most in your life? And everything you value most in your life is directly linked to our health. If we don't have our health, we can never function properly and do the things we value most in life. So every decision we make over the next 7 days, if you're not perfect, don't worry about it, but just think of it. Every decision is going to move us closer towards wellness or closer towards sickness and disease and illness. So if you have the book, The Power of Wellness, what I encourage you to do is look through the introduction section of page 11, and it'll show us exactly how we can change our belief structure and how we can anchor ourselves to a highest order value that we have. So I encourage you to get involved in this process, blog with us on Facebook, throw some ideas out there for us and be real interactive for us, and we look for you to truly make some lifestyle changes and not just a short-term diet. So thanks, and I look forward to helping you here in the future as we move forward.